Hey everybody. So I was going through some files here on the Mid-Tower Lux, and I came across a video clip that I'm pretty certain was originally uploaded to Bike Geek CCP, which is the channel I had before Q Computer Channel and Q Comp MTDX, originally Bike Geek MTDX. It's a video from the fall of 2009, approximately October 2009. And of course, at the time, Q Computer Company was just 3 years old. And of course, I've been working on computers for roughly 3 years and change at that time. So it was still pretty new to me at the time. And I was, back in them days, I literally had just graduated high school. Was getting ready to start college in early 2010. And I spent that fall, of course, tinkering around with stuff. And of course, in December 2009 is when I started Q Computer Channel. And I'm sure some of y'all probably may not realize how long I've been doing this. It's actually been quite a while now to think about it. I mean, here it is, 2023. I mean, in 3 more years, Q Computer Company will be 20 years old. Yeah, it's hard to believe it. But, so this video, again, it's something I put, okay, so this video in question was me overclocking, or showing off the result of overclocking an Athlon XP CPU that I pulled from a Daddy machine system. It was an Athlon XP 2400 plus, I do believe, because the stock clock was 2 GHz and it was a thoroughbred core. It was on a Asus motherboard with the Enforce 2 chipset. The model I may mention in the video. I had to go back and look at it again, but so I'm actually looking at the video player pulled up on the screen here. And the cool thing to note is, if you watch some recent videos, the videos where I was doing some hardware swapping between 2 systems, y'all may recognize what is now the Mid-Tower Lux Junior, that silver case, the Raidmax Scorpio. That case was in this video. So yeah, crazy to think I've had that case now for 14 years at least. Because I got it from the Google Computer Works store as a part system build, and the motherboard that I put in this video was, of course, one I got from somewhere else. I think I got it from Hopewell High School. And the cool thing about the Enforce 2 motherboards, now, I know some may debate this, whether this is actually legit, but I was told that the multipliers on the Athlon XP, of course, the K7 processors, when you install them onto these Enforce 2 motherboards, the Enforce 2 motherboards would basically ignore the CPU lock or the multiplier lock, and you could just do whatever you want with the multiplier. Now in the video, I think I actually lowered the multiplier because I did a mild overclock. Well, actually a pretty good overclock for this CPU, going from 2 GHz to 2.3 GHz on the core, single core CPU, of course. But the bus, I actually increased from 133 MHz to 200 MHz, with the front side bus going from 266 MHz to 400 MHz DDR. And I think DDR is what they called it on these old CPUs. So that was, I think, pretty impressive. And if I remember right, it was it was quite a performer. It was also a space heater too. So I figured it'd be cool to share with y'all because I don't think it's ever been shared on Q Computer Channel. So I guess we could call this a lost and found video. So anyways, step into the time machine and go back to 2009 and check out this video that I shot just before Q Computer Channel was even a thing.
Hey everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my extra computer systems I recently built. This system right over there. It's built in a Raidmax Scorpio case, one that I've kind of modified a little bit. And our power supply is an Antec 350 watt. Our motherboard is an Asus A7N8X motherboard, which I put my Zalman heatsink on it for Northridge. It's got DVD-ROM drive and a CD burner, and an NVIDIA GeForce FX, I think 5500 HEP card in it with 128 megabytes of memory, 2 20 gigabyte hard drives, and Windows XP Media Center Edition 2005. Which, our CPU in it, this is the main reason why I built this system, was to mess around with overclocking. This system has an AMD Athlon XP 2400 plus processor, which here in a minute I'm going to talk about some pretty impressive overclock results I got out of it with this motherboard. This is the AMD Athlon XP processor. It's based on a socket 462 platform, K7. The CPU has the Thoroughbred core. And this one in particular is the 1800 plus. Runs at, I think, 1.55 gig or something like that. I'm not sure. That's just a different processor than what was in the actual computer, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like. This here is the AMD Athlon XP CPU. The motherboard can't quite recognize it because I had the multiplier changed to a different rating and of course the core speed as well. It's based on a Thoroughbred core. This CPU normally runs at 2.0 gig, 2 gigahertz, with a 133 megahertz bus speed and a 266 rated frontside bus. Original multiplier on this CPU was 15, and as you see, I had the core speed up at 2.3 gigahertz and a multiplier at 11.5, which with an M-Force 2 motherboard, it unlocks your multiplier for you. You don't have to do the pencil trick, or you don't have to buy an unlocking kit to bridge the L1 contacts on the chip. You don't do all that kind of stuff. The M-Force 2 chipset takes care of it for you. That CPU was actually pulled from an E-machine, so it tells you right there it's just the OEM chip, wasn't unlocked or anything, but this board unlocks the multiplier. And you see here, I have the core at 2.3 gig, and like I said, our multiplier is 11.5, bus speed of 200 megahertz, and a rated frontside bus of 400 megahertz DDR. Pretty impressive overclock there. Up from the normal 266 to now we got 400 at the rated frontside bus. So that's definitely a performance improvement. Now I got the core voltage at here it says 1.8, but in the BIOS I have it configured for 1.775. And when I run Prime 95, it does get quite warm. It'll get up to the upper 50s, which right now, I'm not sure if it's going to show all my readings or not. I guess I don't want to show them today. Anyway, it usually runs about 48 idle, which AMD Athlon XPs are known to run hot. And by the way, these are CPU diode temperatures, not the motherboard rating for the CPU. And now we're fixing to take a look inside the system. Which here's a peek inside the system. By the way, our RAM is 512 megabyte DDR 333, which I have that set at 166 megahertz in the BIOS. You see the ratio from the front side bus to DRAM is 6:5. Which the timings are the specified ones. It's running at the spec timings for the RAM. And like I said, there is our Xiamen Northridge cooler and our graphics card. And for CPU cooling, what I have is a stock cooler for a 2400 plus CPU, modified. I took some pliers and opened this side of a bit and this side of a bit, and fitted this fast running 70mm fan onto it, which it puts out a lot of air. As you can hear, it's quite loud, but not as loud as a lot of fans I've messed with. This motherboard is pretty much the top of the line board from back in the day. It has an HP Pro slot, onboard stereo ATA RAID, and another thing this board has is it has a speech thing where if it has a problem, it actually tells you what's wrong. Like it'll say like system did not pass memory test. When I first installed RAM on here, I didn't like the way the RAM was. I had both sticks over here. I didn't like it, so I moved one stick over here and it runs just fine. It runs dual channel. And this thing, it does get quite warm. Air coming out the back gets quite warm. In which with the door closed, it's not that bad to listen to. It may be annoying to some, but it don't really bother me that much. Which originally, the cooler I was using on that thing, this thing here, the way it's designed, you'd think it'd be a good cooler, but actually no, it's not. When I had this CPU at I think 2.2 gig or 2.3 gig, something like that, had the V core set at 1.7, 1.75, something like that. About the voltage is that now. And the first time I was inside Sandra, the CPU was running super hot, 65 to 70 degrees maxed out. Which the hottest that I can get on this thing before it burns it up is like 80 degrees Celsius. Still, it was running way too hot. This thing was so hot that if you touch it, it'd burn your finger. So yeah, I took this cooler off and rigged up my own, stuck it on there. It runs a lot cooler. This thing, it might be good for cooling a T-Bird or something like that, an AMD Athlon Thunderbird CPU, but not the Thoroughbreds or later, especially when overclocked. But anyway, that's inside the system. See the fan and everything. There's my hard drive, and that's basically it. I haven't installed that many programs on here, which, I mean, I have Firefox, Google Earth, and that kind of stuff on here, and the software for overclocking. That's pretty much it. Which, the thing about Athlon XP is that they are always really good for overclocking. And the max clock I could get out of this thing was, I had the stock multiplier of 15 set, and the front side bus for the external bus was like 155, maybe 160 or something like that. Anyway, the highest I could get this thing to post at, it couldn't go in the Windows, but I could post. It was at 2.4 gig, and I managed to get this set at 2.3 and change the multiplier to 11 and had the front side bus at 200 and had the RAM backed off to 166, and that's the final overclock. Ran Prime 95 for quite a while last night, and it never had any hiccups. Seemed stable. And it does make a huge difference in performance of the computer, especially when you had that bus overclocked. And there you have it. That's my overclocked Athlon XP computer. Which is so funny, it still ain't got a chance for that thing with the Phenom 295E processor. But still a very good overclock for an older CPU. I have to say that.
Pretty cool, huh? So yeah, hard to believe it's been that long ago. 2009. I I was 18 years old in that video, and to put in perspective, this summer I'll be turning 32. It don't seem right. It does not seem right, but it is what it is. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Well, everybody, that wraps up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to Cube channel, and be sure to tick the bell. That way you get notified of new video posts. Also, I recommend following Cube Computer Company on Facebook. A link is in the video description. In addition to computer tech videos, I have a second channel, CubeComp MTDX. Links are available at the end of this video. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching and your support.